Yo, what's good, family? How y'all doing? How y'all doing on this beautiful Saturday? Reflection sessions. Right. What's going on? Today we talking protocols. Protocols. Right? It's a code of standards, a code of actions, right? Boogie Woogie Pin Up, how you doing? Call me new. How you doing? It's King Queen TV. How y'all doing? Gonna let a few people come in here. But today we talking protocols. Protocols. Very important. Protocols are very important. I find that greetings. Nadine, what's going on, sweetie? It's been a long time. It's been a minute. Boogie Woogie, what's going on? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming through so early. Yes. Call me new. Zirenada Diva, how's it going? Superhero Huff, what's good? We talking protocols today. Protocols. What I'm finding is a lot of people have a hard time with protocols. Z Renee said, greetings to everyone. That's what's up. Peace to the family. Right. RZ Oritoki. Yeah, how you doing? Never saw you on here before. Thank you for coming through. Mystic Tea Time, how you doing? Yeah, we talking protocols today. I've been noticing lately, well, not lately, it's something that I talk about often with different people. A lot of people have a hard time, or it's like they don't want protocols to exist or something. But that's a big thing. Protocols, right? So, like protocols are in place for a reason. You dig what I'm saying? And for those that let's kind of establish protocols, right? What protocols truly are and why they exist and why they are in place, right? And we'll wrap this into why you need protocols in your life. Well, you already have protocols in your life, right? Naturally, right? Your bodily function, there's protocols around all of that, right? But, when we're thinking about protocols are, so here's some of the protocols that are in your life that govern some of the things that you do, right? So we're talking about like medicines. There's protocols to that. Medicines, doctor, or when you're trying to get on the internet, like, how when you go and you go, like you click Safari or you click Google, right? You click on your internet browser and you try to, search for a web domain, right? And that little thing pops up and it's HTTPS, right? The www. That's a form of a protocol, right? Your email, for those that got emails on their phones, right? And when you trying to, you putting different emails attached to your phone, and it asks you like SMTP. That's a protocol, right? That HTTP, the SMTP, or you got FTP files, things like that. Those are please, if anyone understands what I'm saying, because I want to make sure that people really get what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, as far as and I'm I'm using all these acronyms, press one if you I don't want to be shouting, I don't want to be talking about a lot of things and people will be like, what the hell is he talking about, right? But it's a code of standards, right? Protocols is a code of standards. It's a hierarchy, right? It's kind of like when people say they want to detox, right, or they want to cleanse, right, one comes before the other, right? You got to detox before you can cleanse, or cleanse before you can detox, right? Libra loving life. How you doing? How you doing? Libra living life. My bad. So when it comes to protocols, right, things are set in place. Things are set in place to maneuver through a chain of command, right? So when you're like, when you're building as a person, right? You're building a business, or you're just building your life. Because protocols revolve around everyday life, honestly, right? When you building, and please share this, like invite more people in, right? Because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. Please share this with 3 people. Just send out a message to 3 different people, to come in and join in this, right? I feel like a lot of people need to hear and understand this. Call me new. You already on here. So, when you're building, like, you need, as a person and as a business owner, there needs to be buffers around you, right? So, we're back to the ecosystem. I'm always gonna hunt in on what's your ecosystem. How is your ecosystem set up, right? As an individual, your ecosystem is your buffer, right? There's buffers. There's people in front of you or around you that are they are there as filters, right? Because you aren't supposed to be, as a CEO, right? As a founder of a company, as a business owner, if you're building a large business, right? If you want to move out of the micro business space, right? I think a lot of people get confused when we talk about small business, and a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I'm a small business owner. No, you're a micro business owner, right? Which is, you have pretty much you're self-employed, right? And there's steps, right? There's steps to that. You start off as a micro business owner, you're self-employed, and it grows, right? Until you can start getting, having employees, and you grow into like a small business, right? But those people around you, those are your buffers, right? Because you, as a CEO, if you're working on the vision, you dig what I'm saying? If you're the visionary, right? That's where you need to be at. Cats and Coconuts, thank you. Sherry Calico, thank you. That's where your mind needs to be at. You need to be in the space of the visionary, growing, right? You need to be working on in places that allow you to grow the business, to see things, to, build the vision bigger, right? Some of the steps to get to the vision. What are the next steps to the vision, right? So you can't always be so accessible. People can't have access to you like, they shouldn't be able to just pick up the phone and call you and have access to you and get you, whenever they want you, right? That's protocol. They have to follow protocol. You have to have protocols in place. Your protocols are your systems and your processes. You dig what I'm saying? People can't have access to you at the whim, right? Having your phone number. No, that's the reason entertainers have managers, right? Or not just entertainers, business people, like business owners, they have like, you can't pick up the phone and call Tony Robbins. You can't pick up the phone and just reach out to Damon John, right? Mark Cuban. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go through protocol. You have to go through certain people. So you, even as an individual, who do you allow access to you? You know what I'm saying? We talk in the spiritual community, metaphysics community. We always talk about protecting your energy, right? Who has access to you? Who has immediate access to you? Are you immediately accessible for just anybody? Are you so easy to get to, right? Now, depending on the type of business, depending on your lifestyle, depending on, how you maneuver through life, depending on what your ecosystem looks like, then certain people are going to have access to you. But that ain't for everybody. Everybody's not supposed to have access to you. You have to checks and balances, right? What is the process? What is the hierarchy that people have to go through, right, before they can get to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're trying to say, there's you're doing a business, you have a grand opening, and you're trying to get things out to celebrities or influencers or things like that, people like that, right? You can't just DM them you see them online, you see their social media, they posting, blah, 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 whatever, and you decide, I'm going to send them a DM. They'll answer. Sometimes, not all the time, because there's somebody else running that social media. There's somebody else checking that DM for them. If they are the visionary of a business, they don't have time to be checking emails and DMs, right? Text messages, things like that. No, they have a phone that's for personal people to get in contact with them. If it's business, that assistant, that's the reason they have executive assistants. The executive assistant has that phone. The executive assistant is answering that email. The executive assistant is answering that DM, or whoever the social media manager is answering that DM, right? They sending a message to the executive assistant and saying, this person reached out, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to speak to them? You know what I'm saying? Mystic Tea Time said facts. Yes. You gotta have protocols in place, right? Protocols also must be followed, right? One of the things I learned from my parents is like the most important lesson I was taught as a kid. Even though like me and my parents, like I was very headstrong. I was very like, I'm gonna do my own thing, right? Which led to me, moving out, doing my own thing and living my life, right? But one of the things that was very much instilled in me was there is consequences to your actions. You know what I'm saying? There's consequences when you don't follow protocol, right? And, for those that have been in like Nation of Islam or 5% community or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's called justice, right? Consequences and rewards and consequences, right? But there's consequences to your act. When you don't follow protocol, there's a consequence to that. That's the reason protocols are in place. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm finding is a lot of people have such a hard time following protocol, right? They want to skip over or, and this came to me from a situation last night where someone was trying to get in touch with someone else, and I was like, nah, because they're in the midst of something right now, right? They doing something or they busy or whatever it might be, right? And I was like, I'll get the address for you. And I'm on the phone with the person and the other person calls, right? And I'm like, yo, I just literally told that person not to call you. I will get what they need and get back to them. You know what I'm saying? And what that person truly, truly does not understand is we had just got off the call about them having a position with us. We just got off the phone. Like literally, we had just got off the phone. I'm having a conversation with them about them coming on board and having a position with us to help us build, right? You just cost yourself that position because you don't listen. You don't follow protocol. I cannot work with you if you don't follow protocol, because that means you're not teachable. You're not coachable. You're not listening. People have to understand to listen. Like, and it's not saying it's not about somebody else having dominion over you. There's just protocols in place for things to happen in a very natural or succinct way, right? It's like anybody on here bake. I know everybody cooks, right? When you're cooking or you're baking, right? I've had a moment of like baking before, right? Making cakes and cookies and whatever, right? When you're baking a cake. There's the protocol. Cats and Coconut says she used to stress bake. I know that's right. But the protocol is what's the protocol to baking, right? You mix all the dry ingredients first, right? You don't just throw everything in the mixing bowl. You mix the dry ingredients first, then you start to add in the wet ingredients, right? Or at least that's how I was taught, right? My auntie, my mom, and just, other bakers taught me to bake. Like, that's how I was taught. You mix the dry ingredients first, then you start to add in the wet ingredients, right? That's protocol. You know what I'm saying? Or something as simple as when you're baking a cake, like you have to oil the pan, right? You can't just put the cake mix in the pan, right? You gotta oil it, right? You oil the pan and then you flour the pan. You put a layer, the flour in the pan so that when it's finished baking, it can fall out. It doesn't stick to the side of the pan. That's protocols, right? These are protocols. Things like when you're working with someone, I am mashallah. How you doing, sweetie? Not your average Scorpio. Look at you, the other reflector on here. Me and you gotta go live together, baby. You, I want to pick your. I want to see what's going on. I want to talk to you about let's have a real reflector session. But let me get back to it. Cats and Coconut says, right, leveling the cake afterwards if you have layers. Right, letting things cool before adding. Thank you. Even in baking, there's protocols, right? If you don't follow the steps, protocol, you don't get the results, right? How are you getting the results if you're not following the protocol? You have to follow the protocols. People have such a hard time following protocol and understanding, I feel like even just understanding that there's protocols. Not your average Scorpio, so that would be fun. Sweetie, I would love, that will be fun. We got to do that soon. I'm about to start doing something new on Wednesdays, right? I'm about to start a series called WCW. Quick side note, I know I'm off bar right here. Quick side note, I'm gonna start a WCW Wednesdays for the beautiful, intelligent, graceful women, that I know. It ain't about ass and titties, right? It's about emotion, emotional intelligence, mental intelligence, right? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Following protocols, right? When somebody's giving you a directive, when I'm giving somebody a directive and I'm saying, and as I'm walking them through the directive, I'm walking them through the steps and I'm saying, these are the things that need to happen. And I look down and I'm going, hey, you maybe should be writing this down. right? I'm not telling you to write it down simply because I want you to follow my orders. I'm telling you to write it down because that's a protocol. It helps you to be structured in a way that you don't confuse things. I feel like people try to keep things in their head, right? They overestimate their mental capacity, right? They want to keep it in their head. Oh, I can remember it. No, you won't. No, you won't. You will not remember it. It's too many things going on in your mind. Your brain is working on too many different things. And some of us have to learn to be honest about our own capacity or lack thereof, or limitations around capacity, right? Limitations around multitasking. Some of us aren't multifaceted. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay if you're not multifaceted, but you're great when you lock into this one thing. That's a wonderful thing. Be great at what it is that you do. But stop trying to reach outside of who you really are. I'm not saying don't expand or don't push the limits. Yes, you should push your limits, but be honest with yourself around your own capacity. Please do, right? It makes all the sense in the world. Mike Clee, thank you. Am I missing anybody else that just came through? Be honest with yourself around your own capacity, right? This is how we build as a people. This is how we build as a nation. This is how we build as a community, right? This is how we build. Like your body innately has protocols. When you eat food, there's a protocol to your digestive system, right? When, when you're brushing your teeth, there's a protocol to that, right? Gabrielle, what's going on, baby? How you doing? We got to learn to follow protocols. People have to understand protocols. Protocols are so important in your life, right? Protocols in nature, and when you have an ecosystem, protocols are so important, right? Like I said, when you're a CEO, when you're a founder, there needs to be buffers in place. You got to have people in place to buffer and filter the things that's coming in, right? Because when you're busy, when you're the visionary, that's where you have to stay focused at. Excuse me. You have to stay focused on what you're building, where you're going, what is the trajectory that I'm headed, right? Because I have to map out the plan. As a visionary, I got to get with the artists in my camp, the artists in my ecosystem, so we can map out the plan, so we can take our whole group together with us in the right trajectory, right? But you can't do that. That cannot happen. That cannot happen if you are so easily accessible to any and every person. You dig what I'm saying? People got access. People can just call you, Godson, what's good? What's good, Captain? How you doing? If you are so easily accessible to any and everyone, if anybody can just pick up the phone and call you and get access to you, right? They can pull your attention, which means you can be distracted. They can distract you. They're distracting you from building and working on your vision. You know what I'm saying? You can't be so accessible. It's cool to be relatable. It's cool to be reachable sometimes, but there needs to be filters in place, right? Even your water has a filtration system, right? Even the nasty water that's coming out of your spigot, your faucet, right? It has an 8-step filtration system. You need a filtration system too. You gotta filter the people coming into you. You even have to filter your information, right? For those HD enthusiasts, that's your digestion. Following your digestion and your HD is protocol. Your digestion is a protocol. So your authority, following your that's protocols. All of that is protocols. Like, we truly gotta get dialed in and understand protocol. You know what I'm saying? What does that look like? Filtering things that's coming into you. You can't be so accessible. Like I said, like, if you are a CEO, if you're a founder, you need an assistant ASAP. Not a virtual assistant. You need an executive assistant. You need somebody that's filtering. Excuse me. You need somebody to filter your phone calls, your emails, your text messages. Somebody's filtering your communication, right? And that person, in turn, is the filter for your communication, right? Your directives, when you give a directive, it's going to your EA. And your EA is then sending out the directive to everybody, is dispersing that directive to everybody else, right? Nobody in here from the streets. Son, you know what this is, right? You want to jump on? Sure, I'll let you jump on. Let's go. Let's. I am Mashallah said that used to be me. Phew, the energy drain was real. Had to cut access so many people. Absolutely. Oh, she said that was an accident. Uh-oh. That might have messed up my let me know if y'all can still hear me. I might have to speak louder. Once you try to, like, let somebody go live with you, the sound kind of gets distorted. Um, Gabrielle said crucial facts. Yes, 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 yes. The energy drain. And if you are the visionary, you don't have the space for that kind of energy. I sound underwater a bit, but you still hear me. Yeah, it's once you try to let somebody go live with you, it you know, it changes up. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I feel like I'm yelling right now to try and make sure the like everything sounds good. But the energy drain, right? If you're the visionary, you don't have the space for that energy drain. You don't have the space for people pulling on you. You don't have the space for people to have access to you, right? I think I've mentioned this before. There's a comedy special with Cat Williams. It's a long time ago, where he talked about your hater blockers, right? He talked about having people around you that are your hater blockers, right? You got those are your filters. Um, Mystic Tea Time said, I've been experiencing that very thing, currently scaling back that access and setting protocols. Please do. Please scale back and set protocols. Set protocols. Like, people, you need filters in order for people to get, because everybody can't have access to you. That's not a good thing for you. That pulls on your energy. That's where distractions come from, right? That's where um, you lose focus. When you get distracted, you lose focus. You need to be locked in on your vision. You got to be locked in on your focus and your vision, and because you driving the car, right? When you in a car's protocols, like, you checking your mirrors, things like that. But if somebody's in the car distracting you, guess what? Crash. Immediate crash. Horrible crash. People hurt, right? Because you're not following protocols and you're allowing yourself to get distracted. That's not what we want, right? As a visionary, you steering the ship, right? You got your team, but you got to be paying attention. You have to be in this place of awareness, right? Call me new, said point of view, right? If you are the captain, you're the visionary, you don't have time to be distracted because everybody's life depends on you. Everybody's life depends on you guiding them through the trajectory to avoid the icebergs, right? To avoid all the bad traffic, right? You're navigating the waters. You don't have time to be distracted. Gabrielle said, and if you happen to have a new that's funny. It's so funny because yes, I do yeah, neurodivergent operating system. You need those types of protocols even more. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need those protocols even more. You got to make sure nothing is pulling you, as we used to say, off your square. You got to stay on your square, right? You got to stay on your trajectory, right? So you can hit your mark. Your goal is, right, your trajectory. You're aiming at something. You think what I'm saying? When you aiming at something, if somebody's pulling you, if you got 10 people that can pick up the phone and just call you, text message you with some BS around their life, what they going through, and they want to vent to you, right? You don't have time. And it's not about being insensitive. It's not that you're being insensitive. It's that you are locked in and focused. Once you locked in and focused, you got, hey, here's this other person that you need to call, right? And they'll get the message to me. They get the message to me. I can get back to you. Right now, I'm focused. I'm locked in. I'm building something. I'm going somewhere. I'm growing something, right? My ecosystem is in place for a reason, right? I don't get on here and talk about ecosystems just because it sounds good. Your ecosystem is in place for a reason, whether that's your family, a certain group of friends, your commission, right? It's your ecosystem. They in place for a reason. They there to make sure you are on task, right? And your ecosystem is there to make sure everybody else in the ecosystem is on task. Because it ain't just you. You are, as the visionary, you dependent on the artist to be able to craft the vision, right? You dependent on the fixer to fix the things that get broken. When you break in the systems and you break in the processes because you growing so fast and you moving and you setting things in place and things are getting broken, right? You're dependent on the fixer to come through and do what they supposed to do to fulfill that vision, to fulfill that piece of the puzzle, to fulfill their place, right? To fix the things. It's King Queen TV said, me rub things, so me so me do not disturb function is my friend. Right, right, right. Um, she she's speaking patois for y'all that don't know. Nadine, that's the Londoner. How you doing, Nadine? But yeah, so um you're dependent on the fixer to come and fix the things that get broken, right? So things stay in place, things keep moving the way that they need to, right? It's like you have a blowout, your tire gets blown out in your car. You got to go get it fixed. You need a fixer. You need somebody, you know what I mean? You need an oil change or you blow a hose, right? Um, it's you need the fixer. You're dependent on the fixer, right? The hacker, right? You're dependent on the hacker to find the shortest distance between 2 points. You're dependent on the hacker to find innovative ways to make things happen. Everybody has a job, right? We're all important. There's no one special. Yes, you are the visionary. So we're all helping because we all got to make sure nobody's getting distracted, right? I don't know if you've ever seen, like, on a ship, you have the captain of the ship, then you have, other people that's running things on the ship. They all got to be aware. They all got to be paying attention. Nobody can get distracted, or it's bye bye, right? It's we out of here if somebody gets distracted, because we all are working on one common cause, one common goal, right? We're all headed in the same trajectory. We're working going to the same trajectory. So if anybody gets distracted, guess what happens? We off course. We way off course. Bad things happen when you get way off course. Nadine, yeah, you run things, right? You run things. So your do not disturb function is your friend. Yes, you did. Like the D&D function. Get used to that. The D&D function. But also make sure that people understand your protocol, right? When you building a business, you got to put these systems, these processes in place. These are the protocols that ensure, these are the protocols that ensure your success, right? They ensure your satisfaction, right? Like the protocols mean everything. Protocols mean everything. Um, Making sure that when you're building a team and you have people that are like close to you, because I see this happen a lot. When you have people that have this attachment to you, and they're close to you, and they feel like they're supposed to have, one-on-one access with you, right? Even some of the people that you worked with, not necessarily people that are, working in your business, but some of your vendors, right? Some of the people that you outsource things to, right? And you started at a certain level, right? And they were with you in that moment in time, right? In that season. But then you elevated, right? You elevate to a certain level where you got buffers in place now, right? You didn't have an executive assistant before. Now you got an executive assistant. You need that executive assistant, right? Or you didn't have a marketing director. Now you have a marketing director, right? You didn't have a director of sales. Now you have a director of sales, right? And then you still attempt to work with certain people from your past, and they still feel like they need one-to-one access with you. They don't want to go through the proper channels. They don't want to go through the protocols. Those are protocols in place. We have to set that standard. That's what protocols actually are. It's a standard of procedures, right? We need to really understand that. We truly got to lock in on the protocols, because, like I said, that's what ensures our success. That's what ensures that we reach the goals, we reach the destiny. That's what ensures we stay on course with our trajectory. Those protocols being in place, those protocols making sure that code of systems being in place. Because guess what? Without protocols, you don't get on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Without protocols, without that HTTP, without that HTTPS, that www, you don't get on the internet. You don't get you don't get access, right? You don't get access to that website you trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Cats and Coconuts said they're trying to operate off the expectations of how interactions were in the past. Absolutely. The sun must be coming out. I mean, well, it's out, but I go down. Um, yeah, they 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 still want you to be the old you. You're not the old you. right? You're not the you that they knew in that season. It's a different season. You've grown, right? You've put things in place. You have built processes and systems and protocols around yourself so that you can focus and grow. That's that's what matters. Growth, right? Outside of growth, what like growth is the purpose. The purpose of anything is growth. You dig what I'm saying? And not wanting to change and adhere to how things are now. Absolutely. Protocols make my life easier and less stressful. Right. Setting protocols for yourself make your life easier and less stressful. Right. We talk a lot about time blocking. Time blocking is the sense of protocols. Time blocking allows you, please somebody put hashtag time blocking in the comments. um the Quantum Vetiver Project, you can hashtag growth is the purpose, hashtag growth is the purpose, hashtag time blocking, hashtag protocols, hashtag it all, right? Because we need all of that in place. All of that has to be in place. People have such an issue with time blocking, right? You can't give yourself all day to complete a task. Set an amount of time for you to complete that task. That way, guess what happens? You get locked in, you get focused, right? You don't get distracted. Ain't no picking up your phone, answering your phone. People will be okay if you don't answer your phone. You can get back to them. They, like, if it's an emergency, you'll know, right? People have gotten so used to um, mobile phones and being able to get in touch with people so fast. And well, I know you got your phone on you. I know you hear me calling. Like, I'm busy. My phone is not on my hip all the time. It's on the charger. Or I am simply just busy. I'm locked in, right? Time blocking will help you move so fast through uh, your task, right? Get in the habit of that. A lot of people want to get, oh, well, I got to do this today. I got to do it. Like, I guarantee you, most people, when they say, oh, they doing a checklist of things, right? They giving themselves all day to complete that task list. That's not the way that works. You're still going to be extremely unproductive. You need the protocol of time blocking in place so you can learn how to lock in for certain tasks and get those tasks done, right? I had the weirdest day yesterday working with some people, right, around some tasks. It took all day to complete a task that I could have completed myself by myself in less than 2 hours, right? It took two people all day to complete a task, all day, and it still didn't even get completed. It took them all day. I could have done it in 2 hours myself, and I still had to go back and forth, checking and rechecking to make sure it was getting done right, and it kept getting done wrong. You know why? Because nobody wanted to take notes, and I kept saying, "Why aren't you writing this down? Write this down. Write this down." It will alleviate confusion. It will alleviate chaos in your head. You cannot depend on your mind to remember all of the steps. Write it down. Not your average Scorpio said hilarious. I'm on my way to get a new planner because I'm only productive when I schedule my day out. There it is. Add time blocking to that day. Even in your scheduling, right? When you scheduling your tasks, give yourself 45 minutes to complete a task that normally takes you 2 to 3 hours. Give yourself 45 minutes to an hour to do it. I guarantee you may not get it done that first time, but I guarantee you can get it down to 45 minutes. Guarantee you. Because once you give yourself that time and you can't do nothing else but that task, right? You will get it done. Again, especially crucial for neurodivergent brains, which most of us have, right? Which most of us have. Most of us are neurodivergent. You know what I'm saying? So listen, time block, protocols. Set the protocols in your own life, and you will understand how important protocols are in other people's lives, so you don't be disrespectful, because you will play yourself out of a position, right? People, I'm watching it happen real time. People playing themselves out of positions because they don't understand protocols. Quantum Vetiver said, crucial, game changing. You explained it perfectly for me. Latching on to this. I noticed this before. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so thankful that it is locking in, is making sense. Please save this. Preparing for work now. Blessings. This gave me all sorts of inspiration and an extra jolt of energy. It'll be it'll be reposted on my reel or whatever. I'll share it as a post. Um, yes, protocols, time blocking, scheduling, schedule blocking, right? All of these are protocols, systems, processes, codes and systems, codes of methods, methodologies, right? Please lock into this. Please lock into this. It will be so helpful in your productivity, in your success, in your satisfaction, right? It will be so helpful. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. Let me get this off. Because that was really that was on me. That was on me. Just watching how and because we got people like we really want to help people. We really want to bring people with us. We really want to show them how to grow. Like I truly, truly, truly want to help people grow. So for those that follow us, um, the Healing Chamber grand opening March 24th. Also, the Healing Chamber. Go to the shop, get teas, get yourself prepared to get involved. Like we got a lot of things going on. We got some really great things going on. Quantum Vetiver said, I'm super inspired to lock in and promo you and the Healing Chamber so much. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly, truly appreciate it. You know, but we truly, truly want to help people. We truly want to bring people along. We truly want to help people grow. Growth is the purpose, right? Mr. T. Tom said, my empathetic nature needed this message. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you for receiving. I received that too. But growth is the purpose, right? So when you're trying to help people grow and they don't, for some reason, they just don't want to get it, like it can be a little disheartening, right? Because you have this place in your heart for people that you want to help them grow. You want to help them be able to see things, right? You working with them, you showing them their human design, you showing them their mechanics, their energetics, right? And you're trying to teach them how to operate, right, in their highest potential, in their energetics. And it's so hard for people sometimes just to get it or to grasp on because they have the conditioning is a blocker, right? Like in your body, you have these blockers that are blocking certain proteins or blocking certain minerals. Like it's the same thing. That's the reason I talk about an ecosystem so much. The reason ecosystem is always in my conversations because I can relate anything in life to that, right? I see business and entrepreneurship as ecosystems, right? And when I can see it that way, I can see every single thing around it, every single thing in life as an ecosystem. Cats and Coconut said, is my conditioning going to be where I'm open in my chart? Yes. Um, but that's all. But with the right awareness, you will start to see what's yours and what's not yours, right? Even where you're defined in your chart, there's conditioning, right? You can still have conditioning even where you're defined. You have to be step into this awareness of what's your energy, right? Because where you're defined at is where you have a consistent flow of energy, a consistent way of doing things, right? But also some of that consistency is what you've been taught. You know what I'm saying? So the awareness is everything. Always be focusing on your awareness. Be paying attention to how you're maneuvering, right? And what's truly yours and what's not. Because where you open that in your chart is where you learn the greatest lessons. That's where your wisdom is. Your wisdom is your openness in your chart. Don't be afraid of the openness in your chart. Take that from a reflector who's fully open, right? Awareness is what makes the difference. The awareness of what's yours and what's somebody else's or what's not yours. The awareness of when somebody else's energy is imposing on you. Believe me, when you truly dig in it and you start living it, you can feel it. When somebody else steps into your auric field, or you step into somebody else's auric field, or you step outside and the trees and the birds or whatever it is, planes flying over, you can feel it. You can truly, truly feel it. If you lock in and focus on your awareness, you can feel it. Don't be afraid of the open. That's funny. I was about to say that. Don't be afraid of the openness in your chart. Awareness is what's yours. That part. Yes. The awareness is the awareness around what's yours and what's somebody else's. What's yours, what's not yours. You know what I'm saying? TK, what's good, bro? What's good? Um, don't be afraid of the openness in your chart. I know a lot of people get like in this funky place around the openness and uh being influenced, right? The conditioning, right? Um, but that's what those are your greatest lessons. That's where your wisdom is. Your openness in your chart is your wisdom, right? That's the whole reason reflectors tend to be the most wise because, excuse me, we're always so open. We're so open. We're always pulling things in. So as we grow to a level of awareness and we grow to this place where we start to feel and we know when we're being influenced by other entities, other people, right? The difference between the we're being influenced by planetary positioning, right? Being open and being changeable, being okay with being changeable, right? That's the reason we are called the mirrors because when you step into my auric field, I can feel what you're feeling. I can feel what you're projecting. I can feel. I'm holding the mirror up to you. You're looking at yourself, right? So knowing what's mine's and knowing what's yours, the awareness is key. Always focus on that. Focus. Work on the awareness. Work on being a student of your openness. How about that? Let's say that. Work on being a student of your openness. Wherever you open at in your chart, work on being a student right there, because that's where you learning your lessons. That's where you gaining your wisdom, right? Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless y'all. Um, This is a wonderful, wonderful Saturday reflection session. Um, I'll see y'all soon. Again, the Healing Chamber, March 24th, grand opening. Lock in. Um, you know, I believe the shop is already on. The shop is already online. Uh, yeah, we'll be at you. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace.